Hey everybody, how's it going? We'll leave the Harris Heller jams going on in the back. This is a good... I played this album a few times on the lead-in streams, and I really like it, actually. Hello from Wisconsin, Brent. Good to see you, man. You know I lived in Wisconsin for a long time, right? Went to high school there. I used to live in Stevens Point. And Wisconsin Rapids, dead center. Hello from your attic. Okay. Oof, I am tired today, you guys. My littlest one is not sleeping. It's really, really rough. Where are you from, Brent? Stevens Point? Yeah, I grew up there. Went to school in Green Bay. Whew. Usually I like to get streams started when we get to like 5 minutes. I just figured I'd go live a little bit early. It's gonna be a short one, man. Like, news is just nothing. News is just dead this week. Titus Crow, good to see you. Good to see everybody. Just jamming out to the Harris Heller beats. I don't know what's up with my AC, but it is not cutting it. Anyway. You grew up in Wakanda, huh? You know, it's not a real place. It's made up. You're from Montreal? Kino Man Sky? Montreal is very nice. I went there once for a Ubisoft project. Yeah, so like usually with the videos I'll record them at night, but our youngest Nate, he's not sleeping. He hasn't slept for like a week, which means I haven't slept. I've like barely slept for a week. Last night was the first night he slept until 2. And I got a little bit of work done. And then, yeah. Brent, yeah, I know Josh Reitz. We were friends in high school. Do you work? How do you know Josh Reitz? That's crazy. Anyway. Yeah, we were friends in high school when I was like 12 or something like that. No, he's not teething. Sometimes kids have like a development spurt, and he's turning 2 soon. Anyway, it's like a kid's thing. So it's kind of messed me up. So it's like you get sick, and then Nate's going through this thing, and so it's just been. I don't mean to make excuses or anything like that. But yeah. Small world, Brent. That's crazy. Yeah, Josh Reitz. I know Josh. Well, I don't know him anymore. I knew him when I was like 13, and we would play the Marvel game and play Mortal Kombat trilogy and on the Nintendo 64 and stuff like that. Our parents knew each other somehow. We have a 5 and 6 year old, and she wants to start over. No, we're done. It's cool. We all got them kids, yeah. Have you watched Drive, Destin? I have watched Drive. Yeah, Drive is a good movie. Are we 5 minutes in? We're 6 minutes, 28 seconds in. Let's chill out on the music a little bit. Bring it down on this side. Maybe we just keep it as a little bit of a music bed for a bit. I've been working on a story. I have a sponsored video coming next week, and I've been working on a script for it and such this weekend a little bit. So, I used to love Destiny 2. I just played the new season, yo peeps. I played the new season of Destiny, and oh my God. The whole season, the whole last act was basically play the same exotic mission over and over and over again. I'm like, oh my God, if this is what all the seasons are going to be like, I don't want to play this game anymore. It's awful. It's like, it's not particularly challenging, but you have to like, go all these different routes, and they add things to the same mission. And I really did not like the structure of this last act. It was terrible. And I still have to do the epilogue where you go get 8 of the echoes or whatever, and then I'm done. Brendan Martin says, what's your opinion on Jason Schreier saying Xbox doesn't have a plan? It was just his personal opinion. So, I think Jason was just giving his opinion on the current state of Xbox. And I saw a lot of people making a bigger deal about it than I thought was necessary. It's just Jason just saying like, we don't know what Xbox is going to do. And yeah, I somewhat agree that it's been strange over there in terms of strategy. You know, we need more indie games. You close down the Hi-Fi Rush studio. So yeah. yeah, just taking a look at Ubisoft. So the main topic of the stream today is Ubisoft. And if you look in 2023 and 2024, here's largely what they've had those 2 years. And let me know if I missed anything. They had the Crew Motorfest, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Avatar. And Mirage was a big hit for them, actually. Mirage was quite popular. There's some good quotes from Mirage. And then in 2024, they had Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which failed to meet their expectations. They had Skull and Bones, which was a massive bomb. They had X Defiant, which isn't meeting expectations. They had the Rogue Prince of Persia, which I don't even think was a blip on their radar. I have no idea how well or that one did. They had Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary, which is, again, a whatever title. Star Wars Outlaws, which bombed. And they've moved Assassin's Creed to 2025. I think that Ubisoft could cease to exist in the next year. And this isn't the first time that this has happened. I'm doing the video is going to be about the house Assassin's Creed built is falling. So basically, Ubisoft has been surviving off of Assassin's Creed. And if we go back, not even that long, if you go back to like 2013, you got like South Park, Watch Dogs, AC Unity. And AC Unity is kind of like that time when people really started being critical of Assassin's Creed games. That was the eyeball game that everybody talked about, right? Because the next Assassin's Creed game, Syndicate, is the second worst selling game of all time. And yeah, Tencent is a possible buyer. So what happened was, and I'm doing a more succinct video about this that won't obviously be part of the live stream. Just reading about it on Wikipedia, basically, there was this company Vivendi, not that long ago in 2015, 2016. They tried a hostile takeover of the company. They got up to 25.15% of Ubisoft stock owned. And what happened is if they would have got to 30, Ubisoft would have had to offer them the option to purchase the game, because being a French company, if you get to a 30% stock ownership, you're, for some reason in French law, you're given the option to purchase the company. So they were like buying up their own stock, and they were doing everything they could to fend off this hostile takeover. And that hostile takeover lasted until about 2019. So in 2019, Vivendi got out of the picture and they sold all their shares. Guess who they sold them to, everybody? Who wants to take a guess in chat? Who do you think Ubisoft sold all those shares to back in 2019? Anybody? Throw a guess out there. Anybody? I think we know. All right. You got it. Everybody knows. Tencent. Tencent bought most of the stock. Tencent currently owns something like 49.9% of the Guillemot family company. So Tencent is the one that is rumored to be considering a buyout of the company. Here's the thing about investors like Tencent. They'll invest in your company, they'll buy all the stock, and if you're making money for them, great. Hell yeah, go get it. Ubisoft has something like 16,000 employees. They have like way more staff than a company like EA even has. And even EA is like, what are you doing? But they're releasing way more games, or at least they were. And I'm paraphrasing stuff that I've been reading about over the last few days, and I'm doing a more succinct video about. But so 2021 hits, COVID boom or whatever you want to call it. Let's just look at 2020. So 2020, we got Watch Dogs Legion. We got AC Valhalla. AC Valhalla, make no mistake, was a big hit for them. Just Dance, usually like a cash cow for them. Rainbow Six Next Gen. Rainbow Six has been very successful. Immortals Phoenix Rising, bombs. 2021, Far Cry 6, Mario & Rabbids, and Just Dance. 2022, like nothing. There's like nothing in 2022 from Ubisoft. 2023, The Crew, Assassin's Creed Mirage, big hit. Avatar, which we would find out later, was not as good as we thought. Now 2024 is where it really falls apart. Keep in mind, they were investing heavily in Byte Chain or whatever the frick the crypto stuff is. 2024, Prince of Persia: Lost Crown fails to meet sales expectations. Skull and Bones, massive flop. X Defiant, not meeting expectations. Rogue Prince of Persia, I don't even know where that is on the map. I should just delete that. Star Wars Outlaws, way below expectations. Insider Gaming is reporting that Star Wars Outlaws has only sold like 1 million copies. Blockchain, yeah, thanks, Bottles, over on Twitch. So, if that's accurate, Star Wars Outlaws selling only 1 million units, that's bad. I don't think people understand how bad that would be if Star Wars Outlaws only sold 1 million copies. Here's a story right here. Star Wars Outlaws has sold just 1 million copies in the months since it launched. Star Wars Outlaws was plagued with issues at launch, some of which led Ubisoft to make drastic tweaks. It wasn't well received in the general market, and gamers worldwide have been giving it pretty low scores. It comes no surprise to learn that in an entire month of on the shelf, Star Wars Outlaws has sold just 1 million copies. Like, if that's true, if that is accurate, that's so bad. You have to imagine what they would have had to pay for the Star Wars license, the 7 years of development that it probably cost. Like, that's nuts. Insider Gaming hasn't been able to learn what the expected sales figure was for Star Wars Outlaws. I tell you this, it wasn't 1 million copies. That's so bad. But we have secured a current sales figure from sources close to the game. At the time of writing, Star Wars Outlaws has just ticked over 1 million sales worldwide. To put that into perspective, we reported in January 2024 that 3 months after Assassin's Creed Mirage had hit the market, it had secured 5 million sales. So Assassin's Creed Mirage in 3 months did 5 million sales. In 1 month, Star Wars Outlaws didn't even do 1 million. And it's not going to get better. There's people posting pictures of Star Wars Outlaws already seeing discounts on store shelves. So Ubisoft tried this thing where they tried to entice people to buy the game by offering you the $130 version. You have to play on PC on Ubisoft Connect or whatever. There's the $60 version, which came after launch. The early access buyers, their early access saves got borked. So like they couldn't do things. They were told to delete their saves, which is just insane. Right. So, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy to see just how bad this game hit. In early trailers and demos, Star Wars Outlaws impressed gamers excited to explore a vast open world environment as a new character following an original story. As time wore on, the sentiment around the game wavered somewhat, and gameplay videos released close to launch of the game failed to fill consumers with a sense of anticipation. Now, I think the initial trailer was sort of met with, okay, yeah, it's Star Wars, neat. Like when they first announced they were making a Star Wars game, and then we kind of saw it and we're like, and then the more they showed of it, like the worse sentiment got, the more that they showed. And like, we've talked about the characters in the game, but the gameplay looks dated, period. And having played the first hour or two, man, it's not fun. It's just not very fun to me. Now, there are plenty of people out there who enjoyed it, but they're not talking about it anymore. And I even called that out on Twitter. I'm like, y'all are like saying Star Wars Outlaws. I don't hear anything from anybody about Star Wars. I think I saw Mitch Dyer tweet about it, and he's like, oh, I'm having a great time. And then nothing. And I saw the guy over at, where does he work? He works on Baldur's Gate. He's like the marketing guy. And, like he tweeted about it, and then it just stopped. It takes too long for that game to get exciting. I'm just going to ban that word, I think, Brian. I'm so tired of it, bro. I'm so tired of that word. It's just exhausting. I think it's an easy way to express discontent without having to elaborate further. I get it. It's just, I'm really fatigued by, I think I'm just tired in general, like in real life because of everything, but just like the discourse right now. Like last week we talked about how I'm super hyped for Ghost of Yotei, right? So I put that video out on IGN. Oh my goodness. People hated that video. They hated it. And all I'm doing is like the video edit is great and the historical details are really interesting. And I'm just like, oh my God, people just hate Ghost of Yotei. I'm Still hype for Ghost Yote. But wow. The negative backlash, like the stream that I did last week didn't get that much backlash. Just talking about it candidly with y'all. Yeah, like did like 7,000 views on that stream where we just nerded out about Ghost Yote together. I'm still hyped for that game. But anyway, so the whole Ubisoft thing. Yeah, I just like the game. I started playing Ghost of Tsushima. Thanks, Brett. I started playing Ghost of Tsushima because I was so excited about Ghost of Yote. The first person you meet is a woman. So like, I don't even know what the fuck people are mad at. The first so like the whole crazy battle happens with the Mongols, right? At the Mongolians at the very beginning, you almost die. Then you come back. Who saves you? A woman. She's like a thief, and she teaches you how to do stealth and like assassinate people. And there's also an archer who is a woman who kind of like goes to the dark side. And I'm just like, did these people play Ghost of Tsushima? Because the whole first act, that's all it is. I was just like, okay, whatever. Anyway, I'm excited about I'm still excited about Ghost of Yote, but it was just like kind of a punch in the gut when you work that hard on getting a piece of content right. And then all the comments are just like, it's just a little much for me, honestly. Just, I'm already tired. You put all this work into a thing, you put it out there, and that's always a hard one to get over. I'm like, okay, so people don't want to be celebrating games right now. They kind of just want to be upset, I think. And this video isn't allowing them a vehicle to be upset, so I guess I missed the mark on that one. You just got to kind of learn from it, right? And I'm going to play Veilguard too. Like I am very indifferent on mostly I just kind of want to play stuff for myself, and I've kind of wanted to shut off the internet lately, because even like the PlayStation content I make, people are like, this guy freaking hates PlayStation. He's a PlayStation hater. He's been talking shit about the PS5 Pro. And I'm just like, it is on. I might play a game later. We might play a little bit of Black Flag. I have it installed, ready to go. Yeah, so like I've just been really, really exhausted by the discourse lately. It's just like on both sides, honestly, like people just don't talk anymore. And I just feel like there's nothing of value to be taken from a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing online lately. And it's been a little exhausting for me. Yeah, everything's divisive. That's a great way to say it, Titus Crow. It's just like, oh, I'm excited about Ghost of Yote. And they're like, you're supposed to be mad about it. And I'm just like, I'm not. I'm just excited. Like, is it okay if I'm excited about Ghost of Yote and you're not? Like, can that be a okay thing without you trying to force me to be angry? No matter what you tell me, there's nothing that's going to make me angry about Ghost of Yote. Okay. I talked about it on the stream last week. I'm just like, I think you guys are way off the mark on this one. And then there's all these rumors that are coming out that just sound like absolute bullshit. So one of the rumors that I've heard over the last week on the internet is that Ghost of Yote, the trailer, with like 5-7 million views on PlayStation right now, that PlayStation had no idea it was coming out and they're mad. And I'm just like, what fiction has been made up online? This is insane to me. You think PlayStation didn't know that they were going to put the Ghost of Yote trailer in the PlayStation State of Play as the ending stinger? You think they were like caught off guard? Whoa, how did this trailer get aired during our big press conference that we're going to talk about during our next earnings call? Whoa, totally caught off guard. We need to delay this game. And I'm just like, in what world does anybody believe this to be true? How? I think it's totally fabricated. There is no, PlayStation knows what's going on with their company, with their branches of the company. You think they don't know that Sucker Punch has been working on Ghost of Yotei? You don't think they've seen the test footage? Like, the game's been in development for several years. It's coming out next year. You think they're caught off guard and surprised by it? There's no way. There's no way, you guys. That's not how it works. That's not... I will eat my hat if credible evidence comes out. I will make a cake that looks like a hat, and I will eat it on stream. If it ever comes out that PlayStation was actually caught off guard, because they're all over on Twitter, Kinoman's guy, and that's what I'm talking about. That's all you see all day, every day. It's just anger. Like, go look at the videos I made about the PlayStation 5 Pro, where I sit down with Digital Foundry, and we talk about the graphical differences. The comments are, I don't like Destin. And Destin hates PlayStation. These people just seriously haven't watched the content I made about PlayStation games. I'd say all of them are positive. Returnal, positive. Returnal on this channel, I said it was one of my Game of the Year contenders. It was like down to that and Halo. Yeah, it's hard not to read them though, dude. Like, it's a little bit different when you don't have a larger following, but when you do, you just kind of, you get unsolicited comments. Yeah, maybe I should just stop reading the comments a little bit. And the differentiation that's a little challenging is I don't hate PlayStation. I hate the corporate policies that they implemented under Jim Ryan. And Jim Ryan's gone. He's been gone for like a year. I think the PS5 Pro is way too expensive. I really do appreciate that. I really do want to get back to regular videos for you guys. I have had a problem with motivation. I think I'm a little burnt out right now. And it's just because I took on too many projects at my full-time job over at IGN. And I overdid it a little bit. And I need to get my shit together. That's totally it. Yeah, it's like, I can say that the PS5 Pro is too expensive. I can also say that you can build a comparable PC for about $940 and that you could probably get more value for your money using it that way. And I can also buy a PlayStation 5 Pro because I do want those technical enhancements and I want to talk about them on the channel and such. Yeah, they think that I'm Xbox only. Guys, every video I've done since the PlayStation 5 come out, the PlayStation 5 has been sitting right there. Hey, Glenn, good to see you. Fatherhood's good. Fatherhood is good. Nate's doing some sleep regression. We were just sort of chatting. So anyway, man, I feel like I'm rambling. I apologize for that. And it's good to see Aries. I see some regulars in chat. I don't get how IGN works now. Does everyone just work from home? We have an LA studio and a lot of us work from home. I work from home, but I am close enough where I can go into the studio for productions should it be needed. Like for Summer Games Fest, I was in downtown LA and we would do stuff like that. Denny Passion Official. This is reason not to play Ghosts. The executive who said, don't like it, don't buy it. You know, that guy hasn't been at PlayStation for like 7 years, right? Like he doesn't work for PlayStation. He works for Tencent. Where does Sean Layden? Sean Layden is at Tencent, right? Sean Layden is at. He doesn't work for PlayStation. When did he leave PlayStation? He wasn't even there when the first Ghost of Tsushima came out. So just for some context about that, like I think that comment wasn't helpful to the situation at all. But Sean Layden hasn't been at PlayStation for many years. Here's his Wikipedia here. So this is Sean Layden, 2018, 2014. Yeah, he hasn't been there since 2019. He left PlayStation in 2019. Thank you, Denny, for the tip. Yeah, so he stepped down as chairman, and guess who took over? Guess who took over after Layden? Give you a hint. Jim Ryan. Comments like, if you don't like it, don't buy it, though. I'm just like, my desk is like a disaster right now. I've been doing all this capture, so I have to run the HDMI through the yard there. Comments like, if you don't like it, don't buy it. People are just like, all right. Like, don't say that shit to consumers right now. It's very clear that the conversations happening online are reflective of what kind of sales that you can expect. There was large criticisms for Star Wars Outlaws, like a year before that game came out. A year before that game came out. And then like it comes out, they're like, oh, we're surprised. You know what's really crazy? So, I actually have the press release up here. Let me find it. Let's see if I can find the right one. Check this out. All right, it's going to be a little tiny. Let's see if I can make it larger here. So this was July. So this is the July press release from Ubisoft. The gameplay we presented for our two highly anticipated upcoming premium titles, Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows, was not only praised by players and critics alike, but also highlighted the cutting-edge capabilities of our game engines. That is categorically false. Neither of those games were met with praise. Both of those games were met with heavy criticism in July of 2024. It's a straight up lie. I know he's talking to investors, but it's not true. Let's go look at Ubisoft's official. Yeah, I don't think Yves Guillemot is like looking at the Twitter comments or anything like that. But so here's, I want to give it a fair shake. So like, what month would that would have been? What, 3 months ago? So here's their official teaser for Star Wars Outlaws on their channel from Summer Games Fest 2024, which is June. Now, this tool isn't totally accurate, but you can already see it's about we'll say 35% dislike to like ratio. Let's read the comments. 3 months ago, the commando droid is carrying the game. Is that Lando? Actually, comments aren't as negative as I thought. Comments are not nearly as negative as I thought they would be. All right, let's find another one. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Oh, yeah. So 3 months ago. Yeah. This is the Assassin's Creed thing from 3 months ago. This is brutal. Let's read the comments. All in Japanese. They're all in Japanese. Like, let's just read a random one. The family crest and Yasuke's kanji are wrong. It's fake. Like, it's all super negative. What is that family crest? These were made 3 months ago. I'm also curious about the family crest. So I think they put the family crest upside down. Historical fact, real fiction, correct history, truth of history. So I've thought a lot about my take on Assassin's Creed, and having played a lot of these Assassin's Creed games and love them. The only mistake that Ubisoft made in all of this, well, it was sort of twofold. You have to remember the Assassin's Creed franchise is about a future character putting on or getting into the Animus and going back in time and kind of doing whatever they want within that time period and creating their own story while also hitting the main historical beats of that timeline. It's never been about historical authenticity or getting things right. So I haven't played more of the modern Assassin's Creed games, but as far as I know, that's still what happens. It's still a character from the year 2030 or whenever the hell Abstergo exists in the future, putting on or getting into the Animus and going into this world. And it's supposed to be somewhat taxing on the future person. But they kind of, it's not like a perfect representation of what happened, but they're sort of wandering around this recreation of history, trying to discover like key moments that they can utilize in the future. The problem Ubisoft has run into is that at some point they said something about being historically accurate, and they have received rampant criticism for that because Yasuke as a character, there's not a ton known about him. Thomas Lockley, the author of the book that I read, still have it right here. So like we read the intro of Thomas Lockley's book on the stream last week, and I sort of talk. I'm just like, this isn't true. Like it's not accurate. But there's like photos of the harbor where Yasuke would have come in, but obviously weren't. I don't think the camera was invented yet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. But there are illustrations of the harbor and everything yet. And they even talk about Hideyoshi. That's interesting, because Hideyoshi is one of the characters in Ghost Yote. So with that context, I think that Ubisoft is going to have fun with it, but there have been a lot of cultural insensitivities that I think Ubisoft is rightly getting called out for. Utilizing other copywritten material in their game, that's problematic. Utilizing assets that are considered like that they likely don't have permission to be using, like the Buddha statue, that's problematic. And I think there's an issue with cultural sensitivity that doesn't seem to be happening within the Assassin's Creed Shadows game. And I think that's largely what the anger is. Like there was that that collectible item that was released with the problematic gate. I'm sure you've heard about it if you've been following the situation, but so like there's copyright infringement, there's all this, it's really messy. The whole Assassin's Creed Shadow thing is really messy. Now they delayed it to February. Yeah, the Tory Gate, that's what it was, Glenn. So there's all these problematic challenges that they're facing right now. And then you have like the more recent stories about the marketing director going out and just saying, oh, it's so unfortunate that you're being negative about a game. It's like, you were the guy responsible for charging us more money. Like you're not the right person to be coming out about this. I think he was like just expressing a personal feeling, but it's like, bro, you're the one that's trying to sell these games for $130 a pop. Like you're the one trying to rationalize that, the monetization director. And like, he's largely, I think he deleted the post because he got so much backlash for it. But there's the complicated factor of just the discourse is just so exhausting online right now. And like I said earlier, there's stuff coming out that's just straight up nonsense. Like there's rumors going around, like they're like, oh, they're going to take Yasuke out of the game. I'm like, they're not. That's not going to happen. There's no world where Ubisoft is like, all right, we got 3 months. We have all this marketing built. We spent 7 years on this game. Let's get Yasuke out of there. And I'm just like, it's fiction. That's not true. There's no, you can't do that. The character it's a co-op built experience. And Insider Gaming is reporting they're going to add co-op to the game. Like they're not taking Yasuke out of the game. They might adjust some things in terms of storytelling, but like that's not going to happen, y'all. So this whole week has been like just super messy. But there is truth in the fact that Ubisoft is in trouble. Ubisoft had a major flop with Skull and Bones, and if we go back to this July press release that we were reading, X Defiant launched Season 0. It launched somewhat in somewhat of a positive way. People were kind of into it, but it just died. It just fell off of a cliff. Rainbow Six Siege continues to grow 34% up. This is the July one. This is interesting. The Assassin's Creed and Crew brand reports growth driven by last year's launch's contribution. Assassin's Creed overperformed, benefiting from the Assassin's Creed Shadows reveal that drove sales throughout the catalog. So wait, they're saying that Assassin's Creed Shadows being revealed drove sales to all of their other games. Anyway, Skull and Bones Season 2 Course of Havoc was released on May 28th, bringing improvements to the endgame formula. Engagement and ARPU continue to perform well, driven by the new Battle Pass and exclusive Hellfest branded bundle. So we already know that the stuff that they stated about Assassin's Creed being met with positivity is not true. Let's look up SteamDB on Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones charts. This is Steam. Would you call this a success? Their all-time peak was 2,615 on Steam. They have 300 people playing their game right now. 300. There is no world where Ubisoft is looking at this and thinking, yeah, that's a huge W. And like, look, it's like 2,000 and they're down to 1,000, under 1,000 by the 9th of September. 2 weeks. It took 2 weeks to dip below 1,000. This is a quadruple A game, and that gets thrown around. They're talking about quadruple A from a cost perspective, I would imagine, because I remember playing this shit back in like 2010 or something. I want to look it up. Let's see how far back I can look on IGN, because I know James Duggan played it, and we put up a video about it. James used to report to me. He doesn't work at the company anymore. But like, okay, check this out. This is from 2 years ago. Let's see how far back we can go. Skull and Bones content. 23 minutes of Skull and Bones gameplay in 4K. E3 2018. 6 years ago. 6 years ago, we were playing Skull and Bones. They had a demo during E3 6 years ago with a near finished product that they went back to the drawing board on. I was interested in Skull and Bones. I was like, okay, you know, maybe this game's going to pop off. Maybe it's going to do okay. I played again an hour or two, and I'm just like, nope. You think Skull and Bones is a bigger flop than Concord? No. Only because they bought Concord. Like, oh man, that's a tough call. That's a tough call. I think Concord is more damaging to the PlayStation brand than it is to, in terms of, thank you, Phil. Thank you. Appreciate it. I think it's more damaging to the PlayStation brand than anything, but I think Skull and Bones might be the bigger flop. Because they've been on it for 10 years. It was like in development for 10 years. And I think it bombed pretty hard. So all of that happens. Then the crazy thing was that then it was quite clear that Star Wars also wasn't going to do well. And the backlash for Assassin's Creed Shadows has been very loud. And it's quite clear that in its current state, Assassin's Creed Shadows has some stuff that it needs to correct in terms of polish. The Ubisoft I knew never would have let those trailers release. I haven't done stuff with Ubisoft in a long time, but like there are assets in their trailer floating midair after bullets are shot. There are doors that are improperly aligned in geometry in the world where like it just doesn't make any sense. There's weird stuff going on in their trailers that shouldn't be happening. The swords don't properly go in their sheaths. And it's just like, I know it's Assassin's Creed, and Assassin's Creed always has a little bit of jank, but this is QA stuff that probably was not missed, that needs to be corrected, that never should have made it into a trailer. So they put out this emergency press release. Now, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the hostile takeover press release that one of their investors released, or do you want to cover off on their emergency response to that? Because those two things happen here. This is an open letter. We'll start with the open letter to Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot. On September 9th, 2024, to board of directors, members of committees, Ubisoft Entertainment SA, CC Yves Guillemot, Tencent Holdings is also looped in. Guillemot Family Holding, that is the parent company that owns Ubisoft basically. And then they also looped in Vivendi. I didn't know that. Vivendi was out, I thought. Anyway, dear members of the board, dear fellow shareholders, as a significant minority shareholder in Ubisoft Entertainment via AJ Investments and our partners, we are writing to express our deep dissatisfaction with the current performance and strategic direction of the company. The recent quarterly results, which included the postponement of key games like Rainbow Six Siege and The Division into the 2025 lineup, and a lowered revenue outlook for the 2024 Q2, have heightened our concerns about the management's ability to deliver value to shareholders over the long term. Share price of Ubisoft have decreased more than 40% over the last year compared to rise of its competitors and indexes. This letter consists of the following points. We believe Ubisoft is great, undervalued company. It should be worth 40 to 50 euro per share. It's worth $2 right now. It's worth like $2. That's insane. Our concerns about the future of this company with current management and directory. Our proposals allow take private process by PE firms or Guillemot family plus Tencent at fair price. Allow sale process, change the current management. We will use the French minority law to collect enough shareholders to start proxy fight and initiate sale process of Ubisoft to increase shareholder value for all shareholders. This is no joke. They are saying you are failing so badly, you need to sell the company. You know what's going to happen if they have to sell Ubisoft? They're going to fire half the people that work at the company. You're talking about 8,000 people gone. It's going to be devastating. Now, I don't know what's been going on over there at Ubisoft internally, but they had a bunch of bombs, like major bombs. The stock value was in the toilet. And I don't know what's going to happen with this company, but I do think they're going to have to sell. We believe that Ubisoft is a great company developing, distributing, and selling video games. Ubisoft has a long-standing history with great games. Their IPs, such as Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Tom Clancy's Just Dance Crew, Rayman, and others, are extraordinary and can attract millions of players over time. However, we believe that they're undervalued. So long story short, here's what they're calling for. They want Yves Guillemot gone. They think that the Guillemot family is purposefully devaluing the stock so that they can get rid of the company and get a big payday. One of the lines say, we cannot understand the decision-making process of current management that is focused on releasing multiple average games per year that are harming Ubisoft's reputation among gamers community instead of focusing to provide hit games with its exceptional franchise portfolio. Division's Heartland, which was anticipated, canceled. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was okay, but not very impressive. Impressive as nobody talks about the game anymore. So like, it's bad, you guys. So this is like a real letter from one of their major investors that are saying, we're going to force this sale. We're done. You need to sell the company. Phil Roney says, what will happen with Ubisoft doing the streaming for Microsoft in the UK? If they sell Void that? I honestly don't know. Well, Tencent would just take it over. Now, the rumor is, and this is also being reported by Bloomberg, that they are looking at Tencent. The Bloomberg thing's behind a paywall. So I'm just going to put Phil down here for another 5. Thank you, Phil. So the article is behind a paywall, but long story short, that happens. 2 weeks go by. Emergency letter comes out. Ubisoft updates its financial targets for 2024 and 2025. I'm just going to read this whole thing. This letter is bonkers. I remember reading this the day that it came out, and I'm like, this tells me that the whole company is on fire and that don't invest in Ubisoft. They're probably going to sell the company. I don't know how they come back from this. I don't see a way back from this. Following a meeting of its board of directors, Ubisoft updates its financial targets for 2024 and 2025. The company now expects net bookings of around 1.95 billion euro and around break-even non-IFRS operating income and free cash flow. The company now targets net bookings that stand at 350 to 370 million. Am I reading this correctly? Were they expecting 1.95 billion and now they're saying 370 million? Holy crap. No, that's just the second quarter. I don't know what that puts them at. Anyway, let's keep reading. The revised targets are mainly a reflection of decisions taken for Assassin's Creed Shadows and the softer than expected launch of Star Wars Outlaws. And Insider Gaming, remind you, is projecting that they only sold about a million copies of that game. Let's say that's, let's just do some math quick. Say it's $70. I'm really bad at math. It's $70 million. Hey guys, how much did The Last of Us cost to make? Anybody know off the top of their head? 200 million was the number that we learned from the FTC case, and that was a PS4 game. Let's be generous here. Let's say Star Wars Outlaws cost $200 million to make, and they've made $70 million in profit, or revenue, I should say. Plus, there's a cut, and you have the licensing free from Sony. Let's be super generous here and say that a few things are true. Insider Gaming is correct in that they've only sold 1 million copies. Seems insane to me. Let's double it. Let's say they sold 2 million. That's $140 million. So Star Wars Outlaws has launched to a negative in the most generous way I can possibly think. I agree with you, Kino Man Sky, 350 million. I'm trying to give them the most generous outcome I possibly can. You're talking about a $60 million loss on Star Wars. If I'm being the most generous that I can possibly be. That's doubling what Insider Gaming has reported in terms of sales, right? And not taking into account that it's a Star Wars license, that they probably have to pay a licensing fee. You're talking about negative $60 million. And let's be honest, that game probably did cost closer to $350 million, which puts it more in like a $200 million loss for them. That's insane. That's an insane negative to have. We'll be generous. We're going to say like negative, what did I say? 60, 70 million. Listening to players' feedback and as an illustration of our player-centric approach, the following important decisions relative to Assassin's Creed Shadows have been taken. Assassin's Creed Shadows will now be released on the 14th of February 2025. While the game is feature complete, the learnings from Star Wars Outlaws release led us to provide additional time to further polish the title. This will enable the biggest entry in the franchise to fully deliver on its ambition, notably by fulfilling the promise of our dual protagonist adventure with Naue. Is it Naue? And Yasuke, bringing two very different gameplay styles. I think Ubisoft should be delayed to July. Or Assassin's Creed should be delayed until July. That's nuts. We are departing from the traditional season pass model. Why does Assassin's Creed have a season pass anyway? What are you doing? All players will be able to enjoy the game at the same time on February 14th, and those who pre-order the game will be granted the first expansion for free. The game will mark the return of our new releases on Steam day one. Yeah, enough with the Ubisoft Connect. It doesn't work. It's done. Yeah, and like player-centric, player-first, all those phrasings, it's so weird. So you weren't player-first before? Who were you putting first? Who was first before? Where is this terminology coming from? You tell me when you made Star Wars Outlaws, you weren't player first? Who was first? What are you talking about? Yeah, the shareholders, right? Additionally, despite solid ratings and user scores across the first party and Epic stores that reflect an immersive and authentic Star Wars universe, Star Wars Outlaws initial sales proved softer than expected. I've seen some people look this up. I want to see what it actually says. Metacritic. Now I'm using Metacritic because most game companies reference Metacritic. This is what they use as their barometer for this type of thing. So he's not making it up. It is still sitting around a 75. It went down from the time he wrote the press release, but yeah. But users do not like the game. It's a 5.4. And user scores across first party and Epic stores 3.9 out of 5. This is out of 10, right? This is a 5 out of 10. So excuse me. Is he referencing Epic? Anyway, So it didn't do as well. In response to player feedback, Ubisoft's development teams are currently fully mobilized to swiftly implement a series of updates to polish and improve the player experience in order to engage a large audience during the holiday season to position Star Wars Outlaws as a strong long-term performer. The game will be available on Steam on November 21st. There is no world, and I said this on Unlocked, there is no world where they add one of their weird expansions that is from the season pass or whatever the hell they're doing with their monetization structure into the game for free. And everyone's like, oh my God, November's here. I got to play Star Wars Outlaws. I know it's a letter for investors. There is no chance in hell that they put out Star Wars Outlaws on Steam and all of a sudden, oh my God, everyone's going to want to buy this game because we patched out the bugs. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yves Guillemot, co-founder and CEO, said, our second quarter performance fell short of our expectations. Yeah, no kidding. Prompting us to address this swiftly and firmly with an even greater focus on a player-centric, gameplay-first approach and an unwavering commitment to the long-term value of our brands. What are you talking about? Why would you need to say that? I find that so strange that they're like, oh guys, hey, we're putting players first now. Don't worry. That's our core business goal. If a CEO needs to tell you, the gamer, we're putting you first, I'm like, okay, I don't trust that. Oh, well, you said it out loud. Now it must be true. And that's why I find this whole thing crazy. And then everyone's like, yeah, we did it, everybody. We got Ubisoft to crumble. I'm like, they're not going to change anything. Nothing's going to change. They even say we never changed anything. We were always about this. Yeah. Oh, the billionaire said, I'm different now. The billionaire, Guillemot and the Guillemot family, you know what they're going to do? They're going to do whatever makes them money. So they're saying this to appease to, gamers out there. And it shouldn't need to be said. And if you have to say it, then I think that makes me worry more. Like, you forgot to put the player first there for a little bit, but now we're good. Okay. Although the tangible benefits of the company's transformation are taking longer than anticipated to materialize, we keep on our strategy focused on two key verticals: open world adventures and games as a service native experiences, with the objective to drive growth, recurrence, and robust free cash flow generation in our business. Here's the problem. We don't want another games as a fucking service. I'm sorry. I don't want to live in another game for 10 years. I did it with Destiny. The last season sucked. I'm wearing a Destiny shirt, I know. But like, there's only so many games like that people can play. And they don't want that. You just released Assassin's Creed Mirage. And you said, let me find the quote, because I have it in my story. Here's what they said about Assassin's Creed Mirage. Assassin's Creed brand overperformance driven by robustness of the brand that benefited from the halo of the successful Mirage launch. Mirage was a smaller game. It was true to the heart of the original game. It took a character from a part of the world I don't really know a lot about, and it was authentic to that character, where they even cast a voice actor from that part of the world and had him voice it. Like, Mirage is your model, you guys. What the frick are you doing? What are you doing? So they have this game, and this is from their press release, saying that it drove overperformance from Mirage. And they're like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to figure out 15 different ways to monetize Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm like, you have the template. Just make another game like Mirage. It took less time to make. It was a huge profit driver for you. It elevated the entirety of the Assassin's Creed franchise. I don't understand CEOs. I just don't get it. Although the tangible benefits of the company's transformation are taking longer, game as a service experience with the objective to drive growth. In the light of recent challenges, we acknowledge the need for greater efficiency while delighting players. Sounds like you should make another Assassin's Creed Mirage. Sounds like you should finish off that Splinter Cell 1 remake. Do the Black Flag remake that you've been talking about. Like, oh my God. Yeah, they're not going to stop on Shadows, but it's just like, it's crazy talk to me that they need to put this in writing. In the light of recent challenges, we acknowledge the need for greater efficiency while delighting players. As a result, beyond the first important short-term actions that are taken, the executive community, under the supervision of the board of directors, is launching a review aimed at further improving our execution, notably in this player-centric approach, and accelerating our strategic path towards a higher performing model to the benefit of our stakeholders and shareholders. That part of the press release says we're going to fire a bunch of people. That's my read on it. Finally, let me address some of the polarized comments around Ubisoft lately. I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company creating games for the broadest possible audience, and our goal is not to push any specific agenda. We remain committed to creating games for fans and players that everyone can enjoy. Oh, well, they said they don't have... they're not pushing any specific agenda. Cool. Why in the world is that in your press release? Of course, like, by saying that you're not pushing any specific agenda, it indicates that it's necessary to refute that claim. You're just you're pouring gasoline on the fire that's already, like, I just thought that was way out of left field for me. I'm like, why would you say that in the press release? They're like, we're putting gamers first, you know, and all this stuff. It is such a weird press release to read. I'll just leave it at that. It was so bizarre to me. And why do shareholders give a shit? They just put out some good games. Literally all you have to do is put out more games like Mirage, put out games that are good. When your trailers are coming out and they have bugs in them, like, do I really have to tell you, hey, maybe you should QA that game where you can't put the swords in the fucking sheath properly? What are we doing here, Ubisoft? I've worked on content where Ubisoft had to give notes, and it's just like a clipping into a box for like 2 seconds used to be noted. So how in the frick did their premiere trailer have so many bugs in it for Assassin's Creed Shadows that a bunch of fans have pointed out since it came out? I like, what did the first cut look like? Was the first cut worse? That's the crazy thing. That's the crazy thing for me, that all this is happening. So, you know, Insider Gaming has had all these reports, but long story short, the big news is that there are rumors that Ubisoft is going to be purchased by Tencent. And check this out. Ubisoft shares surged 31% as Tencent and Guillemot family reportedly mull buyout. They're going to do it. They're done with it. The games industry is having one of the toughest years I've ever seen. I've never seen the game industry struggle like it struggled this year. Tencent Holdings is considering a possible buyout of Ubisoft Entertainment, with the Guillemot family, which founded the French video game publisher, Bloomberg reported Friday, sending Ubisoft stock soaring after falling to a decade low. Ubisoft shares decreased to a intraday low of €976, 1070 on September 26th, the farthest the stock had fallen since November 2013, with shares traded as low as $9.15. The plunge followed Ubisoft cutting its guidance for its upcoming fiscal year, while projecting sales of $2.2 billion, lower than analyst estimates of $2.6, according to FactSet. Ubisoft also delayed the launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which puts them into the next quarter, to 2025, setting a requirement to polish and refine the experience of the game. Absolutely. And Insider Gaming reported that they were begging them to delay it anyway. Speculation of a Ubisoft takeover have swirled in recent years amid scrutiny from its shareholders. AJ Investments, an activist investment firm, wrote a letter to Ubisoft last month saying the firm had the support of 10% of Ubisoft shareholders while calling on the French video game publisher to sell to Tencent and the Guillemot family, citing a deep dissatisfaction. AG Investments also claimed it had industry experts to replace Ubisoft's management, a move the company said would lead to a turnaround at Ubisoft. Other private equity firms have considered buying out Ubisoft, including Blackstone and KKR and Company, both of which reportedly held discussions in 2022. I can confirm right now that I actually know for a fact that Ubisoft has not reached out to me as an industry expert in any capacity ever. So, yeah, but that's the story, that Ubisoft is going to be selling to Tencent, which owns 49.9% of Guillemot family investments. So after the, who knows, Destin, there's still time, they might call. The good thing that Ubisoft has going for it is that the French government and the EU will fight off Tencent from doing a hostile takeover. I don't think it needs to be hostile. That's why they're sitting at 49.9%. Tencent's just like, hey, we're right here. You're having a pretty hard time, aren't you? Oh, your buddy Tencent's right here. We got a nice old big bag of cash for you. Your old buddy Tencent. And gotta be honest, a lot of the investments Tencent has made lately have been paying off for them. I remember getting roasted online because not that long ago, I said something like, maybe we don't want Tencent and Embracer to own most of the industry. I don't know if that's a good thing when talking about Microsoft or Xbox buying Activision and such. It's just like, well, who does that leave? It leaves Tencent. It leaves companies like Apple, which were trying to get into the gaming at the time. But Tencent's put out some good stuff. I believe Tencent was the backer for First Descendant, which a lot of people liked. They backed Black Myth Wukong. Let's look up Tencent. They helped with, I believe they have a heavy investment with Baldur's Gate 3. In gaming. All right, let's see what they own stake in right now. Tencent. Riot, Ubisoft, Grinding Gear Games, Path of Exile, Call of Duty Online, PUBG, Arena of Valor. I wonder games, video games. Techland, Riot, Epic, they got their hands in a little bit of everything. Supercell, Ubisoft since 2018, Grinding Gear in 2018, Krafton, and Krafton just bought Tango Gameworks, right? Saranya Play, good to see you. Funcom, Sumo Group. Sorry, I'm just looking at the Wikipedia entry. Don't Nod from Paris, France. They own a lot of France companies. Remedy. They helped, Remedy made Alan Wake 2 and such. Bloober. Bloober's working on the new Silent Hill 2. Turtle Rock. From Software. Shift Up. Yeah, Tencent has a lot of stakes in a lot of these companies. I thought they helped with Black Myth Wukong. Let me Google that. Maybe not. Anyway, I thought Tencent had stock in Black Myth Wukong. Maybe I'm incorrect. 16.25 in FromSoft. Yeah, it's no joke. So anyway, everybody's been talking about this Ubisoft thing, and it is looking more and more like they are going to end up selling to, they're going to end up selling to Tencent. Ubisoft will, based on everything that's happened. And hopefully I have a sponsored video coming out next week. Hopefully it gets approved because it's all about Ubisoft. Still waiting to hear back. You have to send off the read and then get it approved, but nothing yet. So hopefully that comes out tomorrow. Anyway, working on that script, I went a little bit down the rabbit hole. There were a few other stories I want to cover off on. So like there's all this Ubisoft stuff. I'll probably save that for the larger video. Oh, apparently there's an Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake. I was going to play that, but I ended up talking way longer than I thought I would. Have we only been live an hour? Really? Did I not go live until 2 o'clock? Oh. All right. Let's keep going. Keep it going. There was some Xbox stuff I want to talk about too. Halo Infinite is apparently, yeah, only 1 or 2 F-bombs this week. Halo Infinite is apparently getting a third-person mode next month, which is interesting. It's just so hot in my office. Do we have, yeah, it's 100 degrees here again. Yeah, it's 100 degrees. The kids aren't sleeping. It's been a little bit rough, y'all. Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake. There's going to be a new difficulty from new style and legacy modes. Metal Gear Solid 1 would be too hard to remake, Konami says. I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm out by Riverside in Southern Cali, and it's 100. It's been like heat warnings every day, over 100 degrees. It was 110 one of the days this last week. So yeah, basically in Death Valley. So if you ever see me sweating, I'm sweating because of that. Largely, even with the AC on. There was a canceled Halo Battle Royale. None of this is like worth diving into, I don't think. Oh, this one I kind of liked. So one of the things that PlayStation did in Japan that I really liked is they use playtime to determine if you can get PS5 Pro, the Classic Edition. And they actually were able to thwart a lot of the investors, or not investors, scalpers trying to invest in buying up all of the stock, right? So that was pretty interesting. And then Hi-Fi Rush 2 was in development with Craft and Save, Tango Gameworks. So they were already working on Hi-Fi Rush 2. And I do remember hearing something about how one of the Shinji Mikami, he worked there, right? Anyway, when, yeah, air conditioning, that's how you do it. So they managed to, or he left when he felt like they could make these games on their own. So some pretty uplifting stuff, but man, news has been dead. Is there any big news that I missed from this last week? Because I was looking at the reports. I'm like, there's like nothing that happened. There's no news beyond the Ubisoft stuff. And yeah, usually like if there's a good video, I'll make a video about it. Like even if I'm sick or whatever, but I'm just like, what am I going to talk about that? Like there's 2 difficulty modes in Metal Gear. What was the Xbox dev survey? I didn't see that. Oh, that is one that I missed, Eat Fresh Guy. That was sort of interesting. So apparently, and I can just talk about it, paraphrase. Apparently Xbox is looking into why developers don't make games for their console. And, they put out this survey and they were like, hey, so like, why don't you make games for us for our console anymore? Yeah. Or why are you skipping it? And I find that very interesting. If you just think about it, it's like, well, you have a smaller install base on the console. Silent Hill 2, the review embargo's up. I've been playing Silent Hill 2. It's good. Yeah, it's not my kind of game, but I think fans of Silent Hill 2 are going to love it. I think they're going to have a really good time playing Silent Hill, and I'm happy to see that. I did play the original on the PS2. I played I just messed around in the town, tried to figure out stuff, and yeah. Yeah, so that was sort of interesting also. What else have I been following? The Joker, Folie à Deux. Box office performance, apparently that movie is terrible. And Death Battle. Ooh. Oh, the first Death Battle is back. So the guys over at Death Battle released, what was it? Omni-Man versus Badrock? Okay. So they're mad about the outcome. Omni-Man versus Badrock was the first death battle since they've been back, and everybody's mad about it. Love the Death Battle guys. Wish them all the best. They recently went independent. Fortnite X Disney. Disney wants a grand, persistent universe in Fortnite. Not all outfits will be able to do everything, like holding guns. Oh my God. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is this real? Is this real? So this was just recommended to me. New Fortnite X Disney statements. Disney wants a grand, persistent universe in Fortnite. Not all outfits will be able to do everything, like holding guns. This is all of Disney to make what every Disney fan has ever wanted via Drew Disney Dude. They're going to get Mickey Mouse in Fortnite. It's real, Clay? Is there an official statement? That's crazy. Disney. I want to find an official like news source about it. Because I don't think HypeX. Oh my God. Who knows what you're going to find on Twitter now? So I got to be careful. Disney Fortnite. Yeah, here we go. Here's The Verge. Epic and Disney want to make what every Disney fan has ever wanted. Wow, it's real. This is from 2 days ago. That's crazy. Yeah, and they added Mrs. Incredible in there, right? Person says players will be able to come into the Disney universe in the Disney front door or the Fortnite front door, but they'll connect on the back end to the same cosmetic lockers and social graph. That's so crazy. So there have been jokes for years about Mickey Mouse coming into Fortnite and like having a gun, you know, and stuff like that, which would just be sort of weird to see as a longtime player of those sort of games. That's it. That's the news for this week. Like I said, it's been really, really slow. No Mickey with a gun. Yeah, Mickey would be the one who would not be able to use a gun. Let me see. Let me see if I got this set up real quick, okay? And a little scared to do this. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's ready to go. Oh, that's just the Ubisoft press release. Let me show you here. Would it be this one? Give me a second. The old Mickey is public domain. I think I'm going to crash my stream. Okay, it's working, but it's not displaying. Like it's doing the pass through. That's so weird. Well, I was going to play some Black Flag, but I don't think I can. If the capture card's not like functioning. Uh-oh. Rip the dream, y'all. Let me open up 4K real quick. Let's see what happens. This might like break everything. Who knows what's going to happen when Destin, you know, opens other programs on his computer. Okay, so this should be set to, yeah, it's the 4KX. It's passing through just fine. Well, I was going to play Black Flag, but maybe we'll have to do that another time, y'all. Let's see if I can trick it into working. TV display options. I put the black in Black Flag. That doesn't make any sense. It would be weird here with a sniper rifle too. Yeah, it's not working. I probably gotta restart the computer or something. It's just being weird, unfortunately. It might be because it's like wrestling with drivers or something like that. Anything else you guys want to cover off on? Yeah, black screen. Video mode is not working. You know what's funny? Maybe if I do 120 hertz, it'll come through. Wait, did I break the stream for real? Yeah, it's not going to work right now, you guys. All right, well, I can just play it on the TV. Here, let's bring it up. Oh, no, I can't. Dang it. Oh, well. Yeah, there's no news really right now. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll just sign off there. We don't need to prolong it any longer, but I do want to keep consistent with these Sunday streams, so keeping with it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I do appreciate you hanging out. Thank you so much. If you like my content, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know my content goes live. I do greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the members who support the stream. Aries gifted so many members. I still didn't update it from last week. Should have a regular video out on Monday. I need to because it's sponsored. Hit that join button if you want to become a member. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go take a cold bath because I've been in this hot box. It's so hot in where I'm at right now. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate all of you. Bye for now.